most people think that you've completed the C&O Canal Towpath Trail.
But I bet a lot of you have missed the real starting point, mile marker 0.
Or Tidewater Lock 0.
We're starting 184.5 miles. We have been riding on the C&O for 4 years.
Not all at once. We've gone back several times to re-see some of our favorite places.
But I think it sounds much better that we've been on this trail for 4 years.
Ooh, I'm tired.
So we have attempted to put together an ultimate guide to the C&O to make your biking trip easier for you. Let's go riding! The Chesapeake of Ohio Canal. It's commonly known as the C&O Canal Towpath, which is crushed gravel trail, and it's about 184.5 miles that stretches from the Georgetown neighborhood of Washington, D.C. to Cumberland, Maryland. It runs all along the Potomac River. The canal trail is dotted with historic structures, towns, engineering marvels like aqueducts, gold mines, and an abundance of natural wonders and lots of ghost stories that we love to tell.
That you love to tell.
I would suggest to download the app, and it's called Canal Explorer, and it will tell you exactly where the campsites are, historical markers, the restrooms, the boat ramps, parking places. It's a great source. The park has placed mile markers all along the trail, so you always know where your location is and how many more miles you have to go. Depending on where you're starting out, most of the park is free of charge to get in unless you're parking at Great Falls, Maryland. The admission fee is $20 per car. You can view some fantastic waterfalls, and that's probably why you're paying the 20 bucks to park there. Bicycle riders can come in for $10 this way, but there are many other ways to get in free. We have found, like, if you go to Google Maps and you can kind of zoom down and see how many spaces there are. It does get crowded on weekends in certain areas.
In our experience, Great Falls area is the busiest part.
So if you venture west, there are less visited areas.
The further away you get from towns, the quieter it is.
It's just the two of us in this very remote place. Remember, you might be riding in some less populated areas, so you might encounter weak cell phone service.
If you get in trouble, don't worry. There's a bunch of bike shops along the way.
All this information will be in the description that is part of this video.
I think a lot of bikers will agree with us that riding hybrid bikes is preferable compared to a mountain bike. It's because mountain bike treads that are large can pick up a lot more mud.
Road bikes, I would say, are not appropriate.
No, unless you have a gravel bike.
Much of the towpath is along the Potomac River. Heavy rains can be known to wash out portions of the trail. Also, the trail is gravel and largely shaded. Any significant amount of rain might take a few days to dry out. The trail is mostly flat, so it's really good for all skill levels. The trail, it's crushed gravel, but it varies in different places.
The trail from Harper's Ferry to Shepherdstown is great. It's almost like riding on asphalt. It's so compact. It's a lot better than other areas where it's either very grassy, narrow, or a lot of root bumps.
There are some points on the C&O trail that are made out of concrete. It looks like it's turning into a single lane here.
Make sure you bring gloves. Helps with the shock. This trail can be pretty bumpy.
Ah!
There's a lot of debris here.
Stones.
I almost fell.
Well, and the trouble is that we're going in the fall time, so the leaves are covering it, so you're not 100% sure what you're rolling over. What is your favorite time to come to C&O?
I like the summer and the fall. It's a hot day today.
It's a hot day, and I guess people chose not to come, but I really don't know why, because as you're riding, the canopy of trees keeps you really cool. I don't mind the winter time because all the leaves are gone and you get spectacular views of the Potomac River.
That's true.
The springtime's pretty with the flowers, but
it can be really muddy, so watch out.
What is your favorite sight that you've seen so far?
Flowers.
only happens during July, is this Sycamore Landing. They grow sunflowers. Bluebell season.
Some places around the canal are really tight, so be careful. You don't want to fall in.
I can give you a little push.
As inviting as it looks, no swimming in the C&O Canal.
It is illegal and dangerous to swim in the Potomac between Great Falls and the southern Maryland, D.C. line. But at Harper's Ferry, you can swim. If you want to cool down, that is a great place. You can rent a flat water tube and go tubing down the river. You can also do paddleboarding and boating, all on the Potomac River. Also, the C&O can be a great inspiration for artists. They're always renovating on the towpath. Through the years, there is constant upkeep with construction that we have noticed.
Check the C&O Canal website for posted trail closures.
Detour right here. Here's some C&O bike patrol, and they patrol the C&O, and what do?
Help them any way we can.
So you guys make people feel safe.
That's right. Hopefully.
So they're equipped with first aid, they know CPR. Do you know how to fix a flat tire?
Yes, that's one of the requirements, yes.
As we pedal through this picturesque landscape, so we've met a lot of bikers doing the whole trail. We've asked them, it usually takes about 3 to 6 days. What is the average amount of time that it takes people to do the whole C&O Canal?
We do 30, 40, 50 miles a day.
How long is it going to take you to ride the trail? Oh, 3 days.
Yeah, I'm doing 3 days.
Whoa, that's pretty ambitious.
We're giving ourselves 8 days or 9 days.
How long have you been traveling?
This is my 6th.
Awesome, so you're almost there? You're going to finish today?
Oh yeah.
Awesome, good luck. How long is it taking you to bike the whole trail?
2 to 3 days, depending on my mood.
Whoa, that's pretty fast. So most of the bike packers that we run into, they're camping. There's many campsites all along the canal, and camping is available at designated sites along the trail, and it provides like a unique opportunity to sleep under the stars. According to a national park ranger, he said that you can definitely do overnight parking, but you need a permit in order to do parking. He said technically you probably could get away without it, but I don't know if you want to try. This is a 1-night limit for camping. So there are water pumps near the campsites, but they do turn them off in the wintertime.
Water's drinkable, it's not Perrier.
So you also see some portable restrooms too along the way.
Some bathrooms are better than others.
So the downside of free camping next to the Towpath Canal, that there are no showers. But there are plenty of privately owned full-service campgrounds off the trail. For a fee, you can get a hot shower and have some indoor plumbing. There are bigger campsites that have more amenities, and one of them is the Brunswick campsite, where you can stop and get showers, rent boats, and bikes too. Yeah, tubing. Ooh, tubing, I like tubing.
So right off the C&O Canal in Hancock, Maryland, there's a place that can help you repair your bicycle. Also, they have hot showers camping, have bunks here where you can sleep, of course, food. And then cook your refrigerator there. Water, that's nice.
How comfy is it? You got a nice fan there.
You've got company here. They supply bath towels.
Ooh,
Bath
for your
towels to wipe
toes.
your whole body. And they've got a changing room. And a mirror. Go take a shower now. No, you guys can't come in.
How much does all this luxury cost?
That's $15 a night for the whole kit and caboodle. You get the refrigerator, the shower, the bathroom, the fire pit, the changing room, and the bunk bed.
We will list all the private campsites in the description below.
Okay, we've got a seasoned bike camper here, and she's got some tips.
There are pieces to it. If you're gonna go bike packing, then you need a bike, you need a little bit of camping experience, you need a little bit of cooking experience, and you need some friends who are more experienced than you so they can help you. You get a stove that you can carry, and then you go to REI or any of these outdoor stores and you buy a prepackaged dinner. Boil water, so you don't have to do everything. Actually, one of the things that probably makes it easiest is you have a rack, then you can hang what they call panniers, like saddlebags, and you can put a lot of stuff in those. You just go out there and try it. Take a little break at the side, chat with people. You never know who you'll meet.
I would say one of the #1 tips for biking on the C&O is
Don't overpack.
How heavy is that thing?
Well, I'm carrying
100
like
pounds?
60 pounds of gear.
Oh my God.
The bike itself's light.
And how many pounds you got on that?
Oh, all told, probably about 60.
Okay, so you would not recommend people packing this way?
No, I definitely don't.
So if camping is not your thing, you can reserve a canal quarter lock house. And this is one right behind me. And they have about 7 of them, and they're restored lock houses, and you can stay there overnight. You'll have to check, but some of them have more amenities than others. Some of them don't have running water or don't have toilets. So no way. And these houses are literally right off the trail, so it's very convenient. If you want more upscale accommodations, there are many hotels and B&Bs and inns along the trail. So right there is the Four Seasons Hotel right off the trail.
You can also stay at the Bavarian Inn, and they have bikes for the guests, and they are free. And also, the C&O Canal is just over the bridge, so it's very easy to get to from the Bavarian Inn.
Williamsport also has motels and hotels to stay into. So right in front of Bill's Place in Little Orleans, a B&B called Town Hill Hotel has a shuttle that will pick up you and your bike and bring you to their B&B. That's pretty cool. You can see how close our hotel is to the C&O. If you want to ride the entire trail, you can jump on the Amtrak's daily Capital Limit train at Union Station in Washington, D.C., which stops in Cumberland on its way to Chicago. So this train has a dedicated bike storage, but you really should reserve your spot ahead of time. Or during the weekday, you can also pick up the Mark Brunswick line that will take you to Point of Rocks, Maryland, or Brunswick, Maryland to start the trail there.
So yeah, get off at Cumberland, and then 3 days to do the C&O Canal. I end up back at Union Station and take the train back to BWI and ride home.
It's kind of hard to believe that they get more visitors on the C&O Canal than at Yosemite and Yellowstone. It's crazy. Yeah.
Along the way, you'll encounter several charming canal towns that offer a welcoming break to your ride.
You can eat, shop, learn about the canal history at one of the visitor centers. Some of the picturesque towns that you will be passing through are
Harper's Ferry,
Shepherdstown,
Hancock,
Williamsport,
and Georgetown.
The other towns are Little Orleans and
Cumberland, the very end.
I'm hungry, I'm weak, I'm thirsty. I need substance. Coffee, coffee, coffee. It's okay, don't worry. There are a lot of food stops along the trail. Three miles in, there's a snack shop. One good tip at White's Ferry, you can stop there and get a pickled sandwich.
Instead of bread, there's a pickle.
Church that turned into a cafe. Pretty cool. I'm going for the apple pie ice cream. We're gonna go see something unusual at the top of the hill. Here we are at True Treat. They have old-fashioned candy. It's not really the old-fashioned candy you're thinking of. I heard they had ancient Greek gum. Let's go inside.
We are the only historical research-based candy company in the U.S. We have the very first candies, Revolutionary War, 1800s, and then it swings all the way around to the 1970s, and we also have Appalachian favorites.
Look at all these pies. All right, we got some peach pie, all berry pie, and a chocolate peanut butter pie.
The world's best ham pizza is made here in Williamsport, Maryland. It's called Rad Pies.
While there are many places to eat along the C&O Canal,
Not where we are right now.
there are a lot of long stretches where there's nothing, so don't forget to pack food and water. If you're hungry, there's walnuts and pawpaws to eat.
If you're hungry for fish, all along the Potomac River you can fish and cook it at the campsite. So along the C&O Canal you can often find edible plants. So you are allowed to forage along the way. So what flowers can you eat along the towpath? Well, there's the violets, there's garlic mustard that can be used as a spice, onion grass, who doesn't like to have onion breath? Chickweed can be cooked like spinach. Oh, and also there's wild dandelions too. You can make a dandelion salad. If you start recognizing the plants, you're really gonna have a feast here off in the C&O Canal.
Another spectacular view. So there are many historical sites to see on the trail. Some of them are ruins of the past. Seneca Quarry, colorful graffiti on the ruins.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's all the cement factory. There it is. So when they were building the C&O, they came across some limestone cement, and so they built a limestone cement factory here, and this is it. And they even used this cement for the Washington Monument and U.S. Capitol. There is a store that's a ruin, and it's where the canalers used to go and buy and sell their wares. Some places that we love,
Shepherdstown.
to College Town. They have a lot of interesting things, and one thing that I really love to visit is the little house. And then there's a cool story about an elephant being buried at a church.
Great Falls.
Most popular thing is Gory Goat Trail.
Park your bike here. You start walking over the bridge, and there's 3 bridges to cross over, and then you will see the second biggest waterfall in Maryland. Another cool thing are the gold mines of Maryland, and they're just up the road from Great Falls, right over there. There are a few remains left of Maryland's largest gold mine. Part of it is right behind me. This is the site of a ghost story called the Tommy Knocker. Harper's Ferry. In order for us to get to Harper's Ferry, you have to lift up your bike over the stairs.
Or you could lock up your bike and walk over the bridge into the town. So scenic.
And a weird, eclectic things to do. Feel like you walked into the 1800s. The town is on a hill. All right, we're gonna attempt this hill because we need to get up to the top because there's another cool thing to see. I knew I could do it. All right, I gotta drag my bike up these stairs to see what's up at the top of the hill. See, wasn't this worth walking up the stairs with the bike to see this really cool looking ruin? So let's go exploring. So it's an Episcopal church, and it was damaged during the Civil War, but they rebuilt it. But then it became in disarray again, and they just left it as is. Paw Paw Tunnel. We have been talking about going inside the Paw Paw Tunnel for many, many years, and we are about to do it. This is it. There is no light in this tunnel. Absolutely no light. It's pitch dark. I've got a headlight on. I've got 2 lights on my bike and on the back. You really need it. We like the big slack water areas.
It's so cool because you ride right next to the water. Corner Rocks has that beautiful train station.
It's most picturesque train stations in United States.
I like Georgetown because it's a nice view of the Potomac.
See the Three Sister Island, the curse of the 3 sisters.
Very cool area, lots to see, lots to do, plenty of places to eat, lots of history. There's also the Exorcist steps, which is very cool, but it's not too bike friendly.
Let's talk about the history. The C&O Canal was originally built in the 19th century, and it served as a vital transportation route between the Chesapeake Bay and the Ohio River. And mules used to pull the boats up and down the canal.
Just envision that there were mules on this path pulling the barges on the canal. They went 4 miles an hour. I think we're going a little faster than that.
Today, it's a National Historic Park where you can step back in time and explore its rich past. Great Falls, Maryland. There's an historic tavern there that's a museum and visitor center. Also, you can ride on the Mercer Canal boat during the summer months.
I think we should go for a ride on that barge.
So I hopped on and took a ride, and they even let me bring my bike on board.
There is kind of an interesting section on the C&O Trail, and it's the Montmorency Aqueducts. There are about 11 aqueducts built along the C&O, and it's particularly interesting because they were designed to carry the canal water with the boats to cross over a river.
John Brown used the towpath of the C&O Canal on the night of October 16, 1859. He assembled his men at about 8:30 at night. There were 22 of them, including John Brown, and with 11 words, he would change America forever. He said, "Men, get on your arms, we will proceed to the ferry." And his men got behind John Brown, who was on a wagon, and they left about 7 miles from here, at what is now the Kennedy Farm, and came down the canal. And they crossed right here, about 11:30. And that would be, by many estimations, the Spartan start of the Civil War.
Killsburg Caves, and the people hung out during the Civil War to get away from the battles.
And Antietam, where the battle was fought.
A little off the trail. Fort Frederick has this very cool star shape, and that was built during the Revolutionary War era, and that's right off the trail. Are there mysterious creatures roaming around in these woods?
There's all kinds of wildlife to see. There's deer, there's, oh, butterfly, butterfly.
Duck! Turtles.
A lot of great blue herons. Eagles.
Any bears?
Ooh,
Not seen a bear.
Watch out for bears.
Watch out! Snake! Okay, there is a secret island right off the C&O Canal. There's a rookery of magical birds that live on this island. Lair of the pterodactyl. They're not pterodactyls. They look like pterodactyls, but they're blue herrings. There are hundreds of nests. The blue herrings who are nesting above in the trees, you can see right behind me, are making an awful lot of noise.
Bikers need to be aware when they're passing people on horses. They need to be very careful. Horses have right-of-way here on the C&O Canal. Had a couple incidents recently where people started blowing their horn when they got close to my horse. It's not a good idea. It could spook a horse, and it could potentially hurt a bicycle rider if they spook and they knock into them.
It's a larva that came out, shed its skin, and this particular one's called a dragon hunter because it hunts other dragonflies.
So there are points on the C&O that if you need a break from the gravel trail, there are certain trails that run parallel. One is the
Western Maryland Rail Trail, which is completely asphalt.
And the other one is the Capitol Crescent. Okay, we're running parallel to the C&O Canal Trail.
Capitol Crescent Trail takes you to Bethesda, Maryland.
Here's a tip. If you're on the Capitol Crescent Trail and it's during cherry blossom season, right off the trail, head up toward Kenwood neighborhood, a spectacular neighborhood full of cherry blossom trees.
Off the C&O Canal, there are other offshoot bike trails to take. So if you're in Georgetown, you can take the Mount Vernon Trail.
Mount Vernon Trail also takes you to Reagan National Airport.
If you want to take a plane to the C&O, you can take it to Ronald Reagan Airport, get off with your bike, ride it on Mount Vernon Trail, and that will take you to the C&O Canal. And then as you're moving west to Cumberland, there is the
Great Allegheny Trail, the Gap Trail, takes you all the way to Pittsburgh.
We've been on this trail hundreds of times, but it seems like every time we go on it, you just see something new. It's ever changing. Here we are in Georgetown, and the mile zero marker is quite difficult to get to. You gotta go past the boathouse. You look like you're trespassing, but you're really not.
I found it.
If you're interested in seeing more videos of the detailed sections of the C&O Trail, we will put all the links in the video description below. Oh brother, he's gonna stop us from getting to the end. So exciting. I'm looking for my parade. We're at the end. We actually did it. No parade, no fireworks. Oh. I feel a sense of accomplishment. Our C&O journey is over.
Let us know if you've ever ridden on the C&O, what you think about it, and what are your favorite parts.
Hope to see you riding the whole C&O Canal. Woo!